Hi 3B, how are you all? I hope you are all really well. So, this week's work, I'm just going to talk to you about, I'm not going to talk about all the pack, but I'm just going to talk to you about some of the really important parts of this week's home learning pack. So, last week, if you did the reading task, you learnt a lot about who Harriet Tubman was. And following on from that piece of really important reading, this week I'm going to ask you to read all about Martin Luther King. Now, we have definitely spoken about him before, and I can remember some of you wrote about him for a biography of an inspirational Black person when we were thinking about Black History Month. I think that was all the way back in October. But there's a reading comprehension for you to find out more about him. And then on the second English task, there's a video link that I want you to follow. And it's the story of a little girl who was actually there on the day he made his really world famous I Have a Dream speech. So there's some thinking for you to do about what Martin Luther King wanted to change in the world. And I want you to reflect on the changes he wanted to happen. And then I'd like you, on task 3, to think about what your dream for the future would be. Okay, now I know we talk a lot about our hopes and our dreams and our aspirations for what we want to do in the future, but I want you not to think so much about your personal ambitions. So I know some of you would like to be England rugby stars or British gymnastics competitors, but I want you to think about your dreams for the world you want to live in, okay, rather than those personal ambitions. Okay, and then the writing task at the end of the week is for you to think about an acrostic poem to do with equality, everybody treated as equal. And I've written one. I want you just to listen to it. So I chose the word difference, celebrating people's differences. We talk about this all the time, don't we? It's so important that we celebrate everybody's unique differences. The world would be a very boring place if we were all the same. So I used the word difference, and each line starts with the first letter, a letter from the word difference. So listen to mine. Okay, it took me quite a while actually, so this might take you a couple of days. Dreams of all being valued the same, individuals respected for who they are, freedom to live the life we deserve, facing prejudices and challenging racism. Everyone taking responsibility for change, raising a generation full of love and fairness. Everybody celebrated for their talents and skills. No more angry acts of violence. Communities living happily together. Equality and difference go hand in hand. Okay, so that did take me a little while. It might be something that you really need your adult to help you with, or me. Ask me lots of questions via the email if you want a little bit of help with some ideas for that. Okay, spelling words this week, they all begin with S. Separate, special, straight, strange, strength, suppose, surprise. I can remember my teacher at primary school. He was called Mr. Gaskell. He was a brilliant teacher. And I can remember learning the word separate with him. And he told me there was always a rat in the word separate. So that might help you. There is a rat in separate. Right, maths this week. It's all about time. Miss Record has taught me an amazing trick because she plans the maths, in case you didn't know that. I can't remember if I've told you that. She's taught me an amazing trick that I genuinely, in my 21 years of teaching, have never known, which is a way to remember how many days are in each month using your knuckles. Okay, so if you hold your hands like this and you start with a bumpy bit, January, this is really hard to film, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, etc. Any month that falls on a knuckle, so a bumpy up bit, has 31 days. Amazing. Apart from February, of course, because that one's the month that has either 28 or 29 days in it. Amazing. So lots of work this week on time, learning how to tell the time, learning how to convert seconds into minutes, minutes into hours. and doing some timing of yourself to see how many things you can do in a certain amount of time. And also on the first task though, the first one of the week is one of those whodunit mystery packs. So you have to answer lots and lots of different types of questions to work out who the culprit is that committed the crime. So yeah, I know lots of you have really enjoyed those, so I look forward to finding out if you worked out who the culprit was. Right, in your topic subjects this week, I haven't heard much from anyone about how much you're enjoying the scratch units, but there's another scratch activity there. It'd be interesting to see how you're getting on with that. Music, you're going to go back in time and listen to the Carnival of the Animals. Remember, we listened to that right at the beginning of the year by Camille Saint-Saëns, and there's a link to listen to it, and then you're going to think in particular about some of the instruments that were used in that piece of music and how the music has been arranged and what the speed of the music is, if it's loud or quiet, so thinking about tempo and dynamics. And then you've been invited to choose a piece of your music, a favourite piece of music of yours to have a little think about. Right, science, you're going to design a rocket. Now, you might have seen a couple of weeks ago that there was a rocket launch. 2 American astronauts set off on a mission into space. There's a clip to watch that video, and then you've been invited to design and build your own rocket. There's a link telling you how to do that. 2 other things we want you to do. There's, in the PSHE link this week, there's a link to an online reading book. There's somebody reading you a very, very important book, and it is called A Kid's Book About Racism. Now, when you do this task, I really want you to be with a grown-up in your house, because I want you to talk about what this book is telling you, okay? And I look forward to hearing about how that book made you feel, what you learnt about the content of that book. It's really, really important, okay? And there is an activity that I want you to do after you finish listening to and reading along with that book, thinking about, again, celebrating differences and the qualities that difference can bring to our lives. Finally, I know I waffle on a lot in these messages, don't I? But finally, this is a brilliant thing that I want you to do, but it's also quite a sad thing, because it is coming to the end of our academic year. If we were in school right now, we'd be getting ready to think a little bit about transition and moving on, okay? But I want you right now to help me out. I really need a helping hand or two, because I've got to think about welcoming the Goldfield Year 2s to Bishop Wood. And they can't come and visit us right now, as they normally would, because we're not there. So what I would like you to do is to film a little video of yourself sharing some of your highlights of Bishop Wood. And we've written here, let me get the wording right back. We would love if you could create a short video of yourself talking about something you particularly like about Bishop Wood, or a good memory you have of Year 3. And what our plan is to get all these videos together and make a little film that we can send to the Year 2 children over at Goldfield, especially those children who don't have any older brothers or sisters and who are coming to Bishop Wood as the first member of their family. Okay, so we've put here that if you send us a video in, you are thereby giving permission for us to share it with Goldfield. Okay, it doesn't have to be very long, but something that would just make maybe a worried or a slightly unsure Year 2 child feel a little bit more comfortable about coming to Bishop Wood in September. Okay, that's all from me. As always, please email. If anyone would like a phone call from me, just let me know and I will get in touch. Okay, take care and have a great week. Bye.